Hey, it's Gary, and I have this funny story that I wanted to share with you guys. It's we call it the cruel shoes. We were gigging, and we had an offer to do a show in a resort in the upstate part of the Carolinas. When we're preparing for a show, we spend time in advance talking about what we're going to wear, the music, the set list, what equipment we're going to be carrying. What time, how long it takes to get there, the distance, and any other little details that may come up. But other than that, there was a threat of rain that night, and neither of us does well driving at night. So we just kind of set our intention for no rain. In the late afternoon, I loaded up the car with our equipment, and we left about 3 o'clock for a 6 o'clock show. It was July, hotter than a $2 pistol, as they say. We left about 3 o'clock for a 6 o'clock show, and that would give us plenty of time, to get there, to arrive, to load in, do sound check, all that fun stuff. On the way, I guess we'd gotten maybe about halfway there, and I noticed my feet, these shoes that I was wearing, just felt a little different. But I, didn't think anything of it, and I didn't say anything. We were just driving along, and we're talking about the weather and hoping that it wouldn't get any worse, so we didn't want to have to drive home in a thunderstorm on a hot July Georgia night at midnight or 1 a.m. or whenever. She was quite nervous. At one point she even said, well, maybe we should just go turn around and go home. And I'm like, not on your life. We're doing this, it'll be fine. Look at it as another one of our adventures that we love to do and tell about later. We just kind of changed the subject, and she asked, well, how much gas do we have? She's always asking, do we have enough gas to get there? And I told her we had probably about a quarter of a tank. And so she suggested that we find a station, because we didn't want to stop on the way home at midnight in Upper Carolina or extreme North Georgia, where everybody would be closed. Martha is often the voice of reason. We saw the clouds start coming, and she said once again, I'm not sure we should be doing this. Maybe we should just go ahead and go back home. And I said, nah, it'll be fine. Just do the do. So we were looking for a convenience store, and we were getting closer, and she was going, we need to find something soon. I said, don't worry, we'll get there. And we topped the hill, and there was a marathon station. So we pulled in. We're about 20 minutes to the clubhouse, to the resort where we were supposed to be. And I realized that my shoes were feeling really, really weird on my feet. And when I got out of the car, I realized why. When my foot hit the pavement, my shoe almost fell off. I looked down, and I could see that the entire back half of the shoe had pulled away from the upper. So I started pumping gas, and I opened the car door, and I asked Martha to go into the store and find whatever glue that she could find. I told her what had happened, and she kind of freaked out a little bit, and she says, we can't go with your feet, with your shoes being like that. This is a high-class resort, country club. And I said, don't worry, just go find what you can and come back out. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So I finished pumping the gas. She came back to the car right as I was finishing. I got in, and she had a 3-pack of crazy glue and a rubber tire patch repair kit. And I kind of laughed nervously, and I pulled around the back of the convenience store there. Took off my shoe, and I applied generous amounts of the super glue, because I figured that would be the fastest way to get it put together. And I held it together with a lot of pressure for the 60 seconds that you're supposed to, and then just went on and continued to drive. So at this point, Martha was having a little inner turmoil, I guess you would say. A bad idea. Maybe we really should turn around and go home. And I said, no, the show must go on. We'll be fine. Let's just ask the universe for the best outcome that we could possibly have. And so we drove on looking for the best outcome that we could possibly have. And didn't say a whole lot until we got to the gate. We pulled up to the gate, and they, checked us in, and the security told us person told us how to get around to the clubhouse. It was a pretty hilly golf resort that was on a lake up there in the Upper Carolinas. It's really beautiful. We pulled up to the clubhouse, and it was just really pretty. I remember going, wow, this is a beautiful thing. When I opened the door of the car, I had a little issue. When my feet hit the pavement, not just the right shoe, but now both shoes had pretty much completely disintegrated from midfoot to all the way to the back. Just completely, the soles had just completely come loose from the uppers. And so here's a picture of both shoes. So these are the shoes. You can see clearly that they were coming apart. That's the crazy glue she used to fix them right there. But look. And then here you can see where the actual sole is actually coming apart, as well as shifting apart from the whole bottom. You know, the inside stayed intact, but the sole just completely came off and came undone. So we got back in the car, and I'm attempting to fix the shoes the same in a hurry, because I know I've got to load in, I've got to do sound check, all that stuff. Got out of the car, it didn't take. It was starting to rain outside, and I was freaking out, but I was, going to be the voice of reason. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. I said, this is a country club. Maybe there's with any luck, there's a golf shop around it. Maybe we'll find some shoes. And Martha agreed. Oh, that would be awesome. I said, well, let's just hope. So I got out of the car, and she said, well, you're going to have to shuffle, So I kind of walking like Mr. Tudball up to if you guys are familiar with Carol Burnett. I'm shuffling my feet up, holding on to Martha, and just fit right in with the geriatric crowd, as we like to say. It was funny. So we walked in the front, and we announced our presence to the receptionist, and she left her station to go find the event coordinator. And at this point, I'm thinking that I'm probably going to be performing in sock feet. Not my favorite. And then Martha sees a pro shop just to the right, not maybe 10, 12 steps away, just right there, open for business. So we get into the pro shop there, and we're looking around for shoes. There's shirts and all kind of beautiful stuff, and we, back around behind us here, there's shoes. Not only shoes, but lots of shoes, lots of expensive shoes. I'm looking for a pair of 9.5s that match my outfit or whatever. And I come across this pair of shoes. They're black loafers, and they're like, this is going to be perfect. And so we made it back to the receptionist area before the event planner. So as we're standing in the reception area, I'm feeling these shoes on my feet are a little tight, a little uncomfortable. Now here's a good looking pair of shoes. Golf shoes, they're not terrible. They got the nubs on them. Alan Edmonds, see the little, they're not horrible. But boy, they're skinny. Very skinny. Look at that. These, I must have gotten narrow, but they'll stretch, it'll be okay. At least they're not the old, falling off. But I'm waiting there, and it's kind of like a little kid, and and my feet are starting to get a little numb, and I'm like, I can feel the bunions growing on my feet, my feet are sweating, and I'm sweating, and my feet are itching, and all that stuff. And of course, Martha was sympathetic, but she did remind me that, hey, it's better than what you came in here with, so, deal. Once we determined where we were going to perform and we knew where to set up, then we started, loading in. Several trips of back and forth. So about the time I had all the equipment set up, she was back and ready to do sound check. And of course, by that point, my feet were absolutely howling. We did our sound check, and my feet were it was very distracting. We got done, I flipped the switches off, we were good with the levels, and we went backstage to eat in the little dining area, and I immediately took the shoes off, and the meal was great. I don't remember what it was, but it was really good. and that gave me something to focus on besides my feet. And of course, Martha, being the helpful person that she is, hey, just focus on the music and be in the moment. Don't think about your feet. Just think about the song and think about what we're doing, and just be pleasant and smile and let's have a good show. So that's what we did. So we went out, we did the performance, and 3.5 hours later, we're done. And standing ovation, applause, fanfare. They loved us. It was great. We felt good. People were stopping, coming to shake our hands and ask who we are and where we were from and all those things. And we started our 6 or 7 trips out, whatever it took, going through the crowd who were, finishing up their evening basically while we were loading out. And they'd stop and, pat us on the back, shake our hand and tell us, man, Martha, you've got such a beautiful voice. We'd really love to have y'all back. It was just great. So I went back into the clubhouse to collect our money. And as I walked out back to the car, it quit raining. Of course, Martha and I believe that an answered prayer is a miracle. The way the clouds parted, the night sky, the stars and all, I looked up and I just realized how fortunate we were that we weren't going to have to drive home in the rain, and that I wasn't going to have to drive home with my feet in these cruel shoes. I started thinking about what a great night we'd had, and how much fun we had, and how the people enjoyed it, and how I couldn't feel my feet. You should have never answered the phone. You should have left it all well enough alone. But you can't change what's already done. It's hard to pretend that we're having fun, but it all happens for a reason. You see, they just haven't gotten around to telling you what that reason might be. So you shake it off, dry your eyes, pick yourself up, leave it all behind you. 'Cause it's always gonna rain. 'Cause it's always gonna rain. And I'm telling you, there's gonna be sunshine and blue skies again. There's gonna be sunshine and blue skies again. Things don't always go right in life. It's easy to get discouraged when you get thrown a curveball. The show must go on is something that Martha and I have always kind of hung our hat on. Never, ever, ever stop when life throws you a curveball. You keep going. Keep doing it. You keep your chin up as best as you can and stay focused on the best outcome you could possibly have. Keep your eyes on the prize, as they say. And when adversity rears its head, and it will, we always meet it with the same attitude. Focus on the best outcome. And it works. And so I hope that you'll remember this story when you're faced with adversity in your life. And I hope that you'll remember that you can laugh and get through it and come out a better person as a result of it. Thank you so much.